Spirit wanted me to hop on and respond to this comment. Firstly, this is not medical advice. I am not a mental health professional. I just have a lot of lived in experience. And after living in hell for about a decade, one of those, I did it so you don't have to. I never thought that would be a flex, but I don't know why that just came off as a flex. Anyways, back to what I was saying. This comment is rather timely because I myself am coming out of a dark period. Figured let's just talk about it. This comment had me reflecting back to a time when I thought healing meant escaping the dark. That if I could just outrun it, outthink it, outwork it, I'd finally be free. But I've learned something different. True healing isn't about erasing the darkness. It's about learning to work with it, to understand it, to alchemize it. Over a decade, I lived in what I now recognize as a low vibrational frequency. Consider it my own personal hell. Hell filled with topical steroid addiction, withdrawal, eczema, trauma, demanding nurse career in oncology, waves of grief from loved ones passing from cancer and other medical issues. I got so lost in the trauma and the relentless burning pain that just boiled within me. It became my reality. But here's what I've learned. Hell is not a destination. It's a state of being. It's a frequency, a belief system that has kept us trapped. And once I understood that, everything shifted. I used to believe darkness was something to be fearful of, something that we needed to escape. But I see it so differently now. The dark is an incubator for transformation. Quantum physics, spirituality, as well as my own lived-in experiences have shown me that within the depths of suffering, something extraordinary is happening, and that's transmutation. It's the process of turning pain into power, despair into divine purpose. This process of turning fear into power, or fear into wisdom, or despair into divine purpose. Bashar once said that fear is merely a messenger. It's a signal that something isn't in alignment. What if instead of resisting fear, we thanked it? Like, what if we asked ourselves, why am I scared? And then treated that answer as a guiding light. Imagine how much faster we would move through suffering if we reprogrammed our relationships with fear. During my lowest moments, I felt disconnected from my purpose. I questioned everything. My abilities, my worth. I left traditional nursing to pursue spirituality and my calling to the healing realms. I questioned my voice. And yet, look at where my journey has led me so far. A beautiful, supportive, and loving community. Oh, I'm going to start crying. Loving community. I allowed so much self-doubt to consume me. Fear kept telling me that I wasn't ready. But the universe showed me otherwise. And the support that I once dreamed of is now the catalyst in my reality to be unapologetically and authentically myself. And if you're in the dark right now, I want you to know you're not alone. I know it sounds cliche, but you're truly not. But even more importantly, being in the dark is not something to be fearful of. The dark is not your enemy. It's a sacred space where your next evolution is unfolding. But in order to move forward, we must interact with it. Awareness is everything. It's that golden ticket that we've all been searching for. Awareness is the antidote to fear, to everything. I would often find myself routinely asking when I am blocked or in a state of depression, realizing that I'm in a state of compression. But I would ask myself, what am I afraid of? What message is this fear trying to deliver? What part of my life is out of alignment? And what belief systems am I still trapped in? Girl, for years my nervous system was wired to survive. I stayed stuck in cycles of suffering because it was familiar, it was comfortable. But at some point I had to ask myself, am I done Have I learned the lesson? Am I ready to shift? And if so, what baby steps can I take today that will place me in alignment with where I want to go? My guides once told me that you can't write a masterpiece with a pen that's out of ink. Let that sit in. One might question, how do we refill this ink? Joy, my friends. Part of enlightenment is to lighten up. The importance of having fun in adulthood is vital, crucial. Releasing expectations is also incredibly important. And honestly, when do the best ideas come? It's not when we're in self-deprecation mode and beating on ourselves. It's most likely when we're having fun and letting go. Let go of the self-hate. It's not needed, babes. It's unnecessary. Me, my breakthrough moment was when I really started focusing on rewiring my brain and letting go of programming, negative belief systems, systems that no longer serve me, which then allowed me to ascend faster, in my mind, faster. But when I was in the trenches, I would often remind myself to assign a purpose to that pain. I would ask myself and try to connect with my higher self and just work on thinking of small actionable steps that, even though it might be uncomfortable in that moment, steps that are necessary to get me to where I want to be. Because something in me just knew that what you believe is what will come true in your reality. In this last purge, something that I learned, or rather, Spirit guided me to reflect on, was laughter. The gift of laughter is something that's so powerful and potent when used appropriately. But within this purge, Spirit wanted me to reflect on how I could support myself, knowing that I'm prone to slipping into these little dark cycles. What and how can I support my future self? And that's where the answer was so clear, and it's laughter. Science tells us that gratitude, joy, and happiness and laughter, they just exist on a different frequency that fear simply cannot touch. So I created my own spiritual rescue tool. I call it my rescue playlist. It's a collection of videos or just moments that have made me laugh. And I'm not talking about just regular laughing. I'm talking about physical, deep belly laughter. Knowing that laughter will melt away the doubt. Fear cannot exist with gratitude and happiness and joy and peace. When you're so focused on attaining internal peace and divine union with your truest self, you won't have time to entertain the darkness eventually. Over time, as you continue to reprogram, retrain, and remember the amazing human that you are. So, when to use this rescue playlist? When you start to slip, when you start to feel the creeps of the feelings, especially if you're an empath, especially if you're cycling, menstrual cycling, when you know, baby, get them laughter videos in check. Focus on the laughter. Focus on joy and happiness. And then especially if you're really in the darkness, to reprogram, baby. Mindset, YouTube, music, very important. High frequency, always, forever. This is your own personal life raft for when life just gets too hard and the waves get too high. Remember, darkness is not the enemy, it's our teacher. Something that I thought was so interesting is the difference between productive darkness, where there's growth, and destructive darkness, where we feel trapped. Reflecting on this, it's like, what's the difference? The difference is awareness. The difference is intention. The difference is choice. So ask yourself, am I uncovering something within me, or am I looping in a cycle of self-pity? No judge, all love. Everything is choice. My soul sister had said to me, pain is part of life, but suffering is a mindset. And honestly, working as an oncology nurse, I've witnessed some of the most resilient people facing cancer who had every right to be angry choose to rise. And this taught me resilience isn't about avoiding pain, it's about meeting it with purpose. But your pain is real, but will you use it or will it use you? So here's my invitation: find your rescue, find your tools, build your awareness. Learn to listen to fear as a messenger, not as a master. And the moment you become aware of your suffering, claim it. Claim it as a lesson. Speak it out into existence and just simply say, "Thank you, universe, for this experience. Now, let me see what I need to learn from it." Ask yourself questions like, why am I feeling this? What is it trying to show me? What's the deeper lesson? Journal about it. Write it down. Speak it out. Talk it out. And then surrender it to spirit. That's the most important part. Surrender it to spirit. And then go live. Go have fun. Show the universe, show spirit that you are ready to receive, that you have learned the lesson. Don't sit in pity. Don't sit back and start replaying those. This is a new chapter, new life, new timeline. Go live it out. Because remember, we're focusing on how to refill that ink, that pen, so you can start dreaming again and living your dream life and being the badass version of yourself we all know you can be. And most importantly, even in the darkest moments, there is borrowed light until you find your own again. So I'll leave you with this. What if your darkness isn't your punishment, but your initiation? What if everything you're going through right now is preparing you for something greater? I hope this helps. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Please feel free to share your tips and tricks too on how to support your life raft, or what are spiritual tools, mindset tools that you've created and crafted for yourself over time. And I'd love to hear it. Also, if you're experiencing all of these shifts from New Earth, that also could be a thing. But thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I will also link some information in the caption as well for any of those who need it. I hope that this offers a different perspective to some things, and I hope that it serves as a light, a borrowed light, that you too will find your spark again. Be patient, be kind to yourself, be gentle, focus on having fun again. You'd be very surprised to see how quickly everything starts to shift for you. Let me know when you start to see it. Toodles.